What's up, guys? I'm Chad Barnes, and welcome to the channel. Here, it's all about real car talk, from simple fixes to smart driving tips and keeping your ride in top shape. If that sounds good to you, go ahead and give the video a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button, and make sure you watch all the way through. There's a lot of good stuff coming. Let's get to it.
KGM. To understand what kind of cars brought an old brand with a new name, it is worth remembering a little history. If someone does not know, KGM, or Kilogram Mobility, is the former Ssangyong, one of the oldest automobile companies in South Korea. It started its operations back in 1954, but back then it was called Dongwon Motor and was producing trucks and buses, as well as assembling Jeep SUVs for the U.S. Army. Ssangyong released its first passenger car, created on the motives of the same Jeep, in 1983. The car was proudly named Korando. Proud because the name was obtained by combining together the words Koreans can do, Koreans can also, and the company itself secured the name Ssangyong, two dragons. But the real breakthrough happened in the early 90s when the company established a partnership with Mercedes-Benz and received a number of technologies as well as licenses for the production of many units and assemblies. The result was the appearance of such well-known in Russia models as Musso, Korando, Rodius, Action, Kurin, pickup trucks Musso Sports, and Action Sports and, of course, a large-frame SUV Rexton, which shared units with Mercedes ML and Jeep Grand Cherokee, since Mercedes at that time was part of the Daimler-Chrysler concern. The official representation of Ssangyong in Russia was registered in 2005, but a number of models were sold in Russian showrooms before that moment. Well, the official presence allowed to organize in Taganrog the assembly of Korando under the name TagAZ Taga and Musso TagAZ. Road partner SUVs in Nabrizhny the flagship model Rexton. Subsequently, Rexton assembly was moved to the Salos plant in Vladivostok, where Kurin, Rexton SUVs, Rexton and Action Sports pickups, as well as new Action crossovers were assembled. But by 2014, times were hard for Ssangyong. The brand was on the verge of bankruptcy, then in 2018 it was bought by the Indian concern Mahindra, but did not invest in it, limiting itself to borrowing technologies. The shadow of bankruptcy and complete liquidation loomed over the company again, and then in 2022 it was bought by the Korean chaebol. That's how they call financial and industrial groups in Korea, Kilogram Group, breathing new life into Ssangyong, but under the new name KGM, Kilogram Mobility. From the old two dragons remained only a winged emblem and the right for some time to write the old name in small print, so that customers understood where what came from. Here in this new status Ssangyong returned to Russia. The newest and perspective from all presented quartet of models, the greatest interest is caused by a large crossover KGM Torres, belonging to the segment SUVD. Firstly, it is the newest of the company's models, presented in 2022 and entering the market in 2023, and the most modern in its equipment. And secondly, the model is dramatically different in its appearance, it is the model on which the brand is testing its new styling. At the end of XX, beginning of XXI century, the company ordered the design in turn from Great and Terrible Ken Greenlee, who managed to create so ugly cars that they even attracted by their ugliness, Musso, Rodius, Kurin, the first Action, and from Idol Design Company. Rexton, the second Action. Who exactly was engaged in the development of external design of Torres, the company does not inform, but the main theme was a deliberate brutality. Chopped lines of the body with only slightly rounded articulations of surfaces, 6 fangs in the upper part of the radiator and horizontals of 3D elements in the lower part, a complex roof line in the area of the rear pillars, decorative handles on the hood. LED headlights with fractured lines of daytime running lights and angular side mirror housings fit perfectly into this style. The rear part of the car is not less spectacular. Rear lights in the form of hieroglyphs and a door of a luggage compartment with a backpack, which is purely decorative element. Well, and the massive handle displaced to the right clearly hints that the door will be opened sideways. And no. The trunk door opens upwards and it is equipped with a servo drive. In a word, judging by its appearance, Torres should be sharpened for overcoming medium-heavy off-road or off-road traveling, approximately. Like Haval Dargo, the Haval H7 or Jeddah T2, there is some evidence of this. There is a decent ground clearance of 195 mm and a traction turbo engine, which at 163 horsepower produces 280 Nm of torque in the range from 1500 to 4000 RPM, and 6-speed hydromechanics ASIN. Even the name itself hints at the romance of wanderlust. It has nothing to do with the popular brand of Spanish brandy. The car was named in honor of the Torres del Paine National Park in Patagonia. However, having settled down behind a wheel, I have not found any signs of presence of special off-road modes, even possibility to block interaxle clutch or to switch on a mode of assistance at descent and ascent on a slope. Yes, acquaintance took place in a big hurry. The car had a queue of colleagues who also needed to satisfy their curiosity, and it is quite possible that all these functions are shown in the menu of the media system. But, frankly speaking, it doesn't make it any easier. The thing is that Torres is a typical modern electronic car in which physical controls are replaced by icons and on-screen menu items. Even selector control. Quite traditional hydromechanical gearbox has been replaced by an elegant rocker which transmits commands to the box by wires. But there is a modern set of electronic assistance, the system of warning about leaving the lane and the system of adaptive retention. In the lane, by the way, they are switched on. Quite physical button on the left spoke of D-shaped steering wheel, the system of automatic control of high beam, the system of warning about violation of safe distance, and autonomous system of emergency braking. Otherwise, the creators have taken care to provide both driver and passengers with more comfort. Thus, the front seats are equipped with both heating and ventilation, but it seems that these functions are controlled only with the help of the menu on the screen. By the way, about displays, they are also solved within the limits of modern tendencies. In front of the driver there is a pair of two 12.3-inch monitors, the left one of which performs function of a dashboard. At the disposal of rear passengers, quite decent space for legs, well, and possibility to recharge their gadgets in a trip, and the driver or the front passenger can use wireless charging. The trunk has quite a decent capacity, but so far the manufacturer does not provide specific data, and under the false floor hides a Dekatka price of Korean origin. But the main disadvantage, perhaps, will be the price. The company has not yet released the full price list. But it is already known that Torres will cost from 5,150,000 rubles. However, the company believes that the model will compete not so much with 100% Chinese, but with Japanese and Korean crossovers, which are imported to Russia in the order of parallel import. And here KGM has very serious arguments. First of all, an honest, without any asterisks and notes in small print, warranty for 5 years or 100,000 kilometers of mileage. This warranty is, in the company's opinion, a visible embodiment of the corporate slogan KGM, reliable Korean cars. Secondly, there are no problems with repair and maintenance. A warehouse of spare parts and components has already been organized in Russia, the nomenclature of which includes more than 1,000 positions. And if something is still not there, delivery from the central warehouse in the Korean city of Chuncheon will take from 15 to 35 days. Thirdly, the distributor has already signed an agreement with Savcombank, which guarantees a subsidized loan rate of 0.1% per annum, and in the near future the issue of interest-free installments will be resolved. In general, life, of course, will show, but so far the specialists of the Russian distributor are sure that Torres crossover will account for at least 60% of all Russian sales of KGM brand. In conclusion, KGM Torres has provided an insightful review of the potential bestseller from the old new brand. With its unique blend of nostalgia and modern appeal, this product stands poised to capture the attention of consumers. As we look ahead, it will be fascinating to see how this brand evolves and whether it can truly live up to the hype. Thank you for joining us in this exploration, and stay tuned for more updates on emerging trends and products.